Yo, I just got some information myself, man, because it was strange to me that every month he's going up for a bail hearing. And I know that seems strange to a lot of people.
Live, a judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and sex trafficking case.
The game might finally be up for Diddy as a no-nonsense judge takes center stage, tightening the grip on one of the most shocking cases the entertainment world has ever witnessed. This is the drama everyone's talking about, a courtroom showdown sending shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. After decades of glitz and glamour, grim allegations now cast a shadow over Diddy's once untouchable empire, leaving it teetering on the brink of collapse. And, at the heart of it all, a relentless judge with a reputation for delivering justice without compromise.
So yesterday, Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily so, I guess, right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
Let's set the stage. Sean Diddy Combs, a name once synonymous with luxury, power, and influence, now finds himself locked away, fighting for his freedom in a courtroom where fame holds no sway. Unlike the glamorous arenas he's used to commanding, this courtroom has no VIP sections or private suites. The latest chapter in this high-stakes saga began when Judge Ensues, renowned for his razor-sharp legal acumen and no-nonsense approach, took charge of the case. This isn't the kind of judge impressed by celebrity status or a sparkling resume. From the outset, Subramanian made one thing crystal clear: he's not here to play games. In a stunning move, the judge recently denied Diddy's third bid for bail, a decision that sent shockwaves through the mogul's camp. According to court insiders, Judge Subramanian was blunt and unyielding, declaring there is compelling evidence that Diddy poses a serious threat to the community. He didn't stop there. The judge pointed directly to allegations of witness interference and a troubling history of intimidation. Adding fuel to the fire, he referenced the infamous 2016 video showing Diddy in a violent altercation with his former partner, Cassie Ventura, calling it direct evidence of Combs' propensity for violence. This wasn't just a denial of bail, it was a resounding message. In this courtroom, wealth and influence will not outweigh justice.
Got a lot of money and they got lawyers that can come up with different reasons and different information and present it to the courts that they are able to get how many bail hearings, as long as you got different information to present to the court, different evidence.
And why is his name suddenly striking fear into Diddy's legal team? Judge Subramanian has earned a reputation as a force of nature, meticulous, fair, but absolutely unyielding when it comes to upholding justice. Subramanian is no stranger to high-stakes cases or powerful figures, and his courtroom record is nothing short of formidable. Insiders describe him as someone who refuses to back down, no matter how influential the defendant might be. For a case mired in allegations of coercion, manipulation, and abuse, having Subramanian at the helm might be Diddy's worst nightmare. The whispers from inside the courtroom are growing louder. Sources say Diddy's legal team is already feeling the pressure, knowing they're up against a judge who won't be swayed by fame or fortune.
So you got to realize he got a lot of money. He still got a lot of money because he's paying these high-profile lawyers to take this case. So in having them to take this case, they're able to construct a lot of information together to making sure that when they go to the courts, they can say, yo, Your Honor, listen here. This is something that's changed. This is something that's new. This is something that's different.
Diddy's defense team, armed with some of the most high-powered attorneys money can buy, is reportedly scrambling behind the scenes. The courtroom losses are piling up, and with each ruling, the walls seem to be closing in. This marks their third failed attempt to secure bail for their client, despite offering an eye-popping $50 million bail package. The proposal included house arrest in a luxury Manhattan apartment and round-the-clock private security. But Judge Subramanian wasn't moved. He flatly rejected the offer, making it clear that no amount of wealth or privilege could guarantee Diddy would abide by the rules. One insider close to the case revealed that the judge remains steadfast, stating he's not the kind of person who will let anyone buy their way out of accountability.
Like he might get bail. Now you're wondering why I'm saying that. See, they are trying to use some of the things that happen to criminals all the time, or inmates all the time. They always, brother, they always do those impromptu searches.
And it's not just the judge putting Diddy's defense team on edge. Mounting pressure from prosecutors has painted an even darker picture of the music mogul's alleged actions behind bars. Reports have surfaced accusing Diddy of exploiting other inmates' phone accounts to bypass monitoring systems and contact individuals he's explicitly forbidden from reaching. But that's not all. Even more shocking are allegations that he's been orchestrating attempts to influence witnesses from jail. According to Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Slavic, handwritten notes seized from Diddy's jail cell revealed instructions to dig up incriminating information on his accusers. In court, Slavic didn't mince words, calling it a blatant attempt to obstruct justice. Diddy's legal team argued the notes were protected under attorney-client privilege, but the judge swiftly ruled otherwise, allowing prosecutors to use them as evidence. For Diddy, this ruling is a catastrophic blow, one that adds yet another piece to the growing mountain of legal troubles threatening to engulf him entirely.
In this particular case, they said that when they did the impromptu search, well, they took some of his legal information, and the judge ordered them to give that back. So I guess the lawyers are going to come up with a couple of new things saying that he can't properly, have his.
But let's not overlook the firestorm surrounding the infamous jail cell search. Diddy's legal team has been crying foul, accusing the Bureau of Prisons of trampling on their clients' constitutional rights by seizing private materials. Mark Agnf, one of Diddy's attorneys, labeled the search of complete institutional failure and demanded access to surveillance footage of the incident. Taking it a step further, he even suggested the entire prosecution team might need to be recused, or that the case itself could be dismissed. Bold claims, no doubt. But so far, the court isn't buying it. Judge Subramanian has instead ordered the controversial notes to be preserved while both sides grapple with the legal implications. For now, however, the contents of those pages loom large over the case, casting an even darker shadow on Diddy's increasingly precarious fight for freedom.
I believe none of that to be true. I believe that they went in there just like they do all the other inmates based on the information they had. You got to realize this, bro. They found out that Diddy was using other inmates' phone cards. Now, that probably happens all the time.
And speaking of shadows, the list of accusers stepping forward against Diddy continues to grow at a staggering pace. The allegations are as shocking as they are numerous, with over 100 individuals now represented by high-profile attorney Tony Busby. According to Busby, Diddy's infamous freak-off parties were far more than just extravagant celebrity gatherings. These events allegedly served as the backdrop for deeply disturbing behavior. Taking his fight beyond Diddy, Busby has begun sending demand letters to high-profile celebrities who attended these parties, warning them to settle out of court or risk being dragged into lawsuits. The implication is clear. Anyone who witnessed wrongdoing at these gatherings but chose to stay silent could now be seen as complicit. It's a bold and unprecedented legal strategy, one that could send shockwaves across Hollywood, potentially entangling some of its biggest names in the unfolding scandal.
Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession.
Back in the courtroom, the stakes couldn't be higher. Judge Subramanian's rulings are setting the stage for what many believe will be a groundbreaking trial. Legal experts are already speculating that this case could redefine not only celebrity accountability, but also how the justice system confronts wealth and influence. While Diddy's legal team fights tooth and nail to turn the tide, the signs are looking increasingly grim. As one legal analyst put it, this judge isn't just presiding over a case. He's making a statement, Every decision Judge Subramanian makes sends a clear message. The courtroom is not a stage for privilege, and justice cannot be bought. For Diddy, the walls are closing in, and this trial could mark a pivotal moment in the intersection of fame, fortune, and the law.
Sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at
Okay.
a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the video.
For now, Diddy remains behind bars, a far cry from the lavish lifestyle he once flaunted. The courtroom battles are far from over, but with each passing day, it's becoming harder to imagine a scenario where he walks away unscathed. As the trial date draws nearer, all eyes will be on Judge Subramanian and the decisions he makes in the weeks and months ahead. Will Diddy's legal team manage to turn the tide, or is this truly the beginning of the end for one of hip-hop's most iconic figures? One thing is certain, this is a story that's far from finished, and the next chapters will be watched by millions.
Occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in the conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
As the scene shifts from the courtroom to the jail cell, the spotlight turns to Diddy's current reality, and trust us, it's a far cry from the red carpets and private jets he once called home. Diddy's world has completely unraveled. Gone are the days of private jets, designer suits, and all-night soirees. Now, the man who once ruled hip-hop is confined to a stark, claustrophobic room in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. But here's the kicker. Despite his dramatic fall from grace, Diddy's story is far from over. In fact, things are just beginning to heat up. The grim reality he's facing inside those prison walls is one thing, but the storm brewing outside? That's a whole other beast. Let's break it all down.
Pretty early in the proceedings. I think it's only been about a month or a month and a half since he's been arraigned and held in detention. And so the investigations are always going to be a continuous and ongoing process. I'm sure at this point there's been an exchange of discovery. And not only that, but I think there's been a gag order placed on the attorneys with information that they can and cannot share. But more importantly,
picture this. A man who once lived in sprawling mansions now spends his days in a cramped cell, reportedly sharing space with other detainees in conditions that are anything but glamorous. The Metropolitan Detention Center isn't exactly known for its hospitality. Overcrowding, limited access to basic amenities, and a complete lack of privacy are just the tip of the iceberg. Rumors have even surfaced that Diddy's been placed in a section reserved for high-profile detainees or those needing special protection. But make no mistake, this is a far cry from the lavish life he once knew. Sources close to the situation have whispered that Diddy has already lost a noticeable amount of weight and appears visibly aged. One insider claimed he's no longer the confident, larger-than-life figure we used to see on stage. He looks like a man who knows he's in serious trouble.
The courthouse in Lower Manhattan, the judge ordering the prosecution to turn over its findings from a jail cell raid, Diddy's jail cell, just yesterday. What were the contents of those raids?
Well, apparently, according to the defense, they're legal documents. The government's saying no. On the contrary, they're just some handwritten notes and a calendar.
But let's not forget the power dynamics at play, even within the confines of jail. Diddy's celebrity status makes him both a target and a point of fascination. Stories have surfaced of other inmates trying to get close to him, whether out of curiosity, admiration, or ulterior motives. His larger-than-life presence hasn't gone unnoticed, and it seems that even behind bars, his fame casts a long shadow. Meanwhile, his legal team has fought tirelessly to secure his release, offering everything from house arrest to a security detail that would monitor his every move. But the courts have remained steadfast. Judge Subramanian's refusal to grant bail sent a clear message. No one, not even someone as influential as Diddy, is above the law. For now, He's stuck in a place where his wealth, connections, and power mean absolutely nothing.
That's it. If it is privilege, of course they won't. But if it really is what the prosecution says that has nothing to do with the case, or even worse, it's actually evidence of witness tampering, because we all know the attorney-client privilege, there's a crime fraud exception. You can't use your lawyer to perpetuate a future or continuing fraud or crime. So if the documents are what the government says they are, they're going to get them again. And again, it's just going to be a matter of days, because I don't
While the conditions inside are harsh, the real chaos is happening on the outside. The sheer volume of allegations against Diddy has sparked a feeding frenzy in the media. It seems like every day brings a new accuser or shocking revelation to light. And let's not forget the swirling rumors about the celebrities allegedly linked to his infamous gatherings. High-profile names like Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Jennifer Lopez have all been dragged into the narrative. Not because they're directly accused of wrongdoing, but because their association with Diddy raises serious questions. Attorney Tony Busby, who represents over 100 alleged victims, has made it clear, even those who were mere bystanders at these gatherings aren't off the hook. He's gone on record, stating that silence in the face of wrongdoing is complicity. If you were there, saw what happened, and did nothing, you're just as responsible, he's asserted. The storm surrounding Diddy is only intensifying, and the ripple effects could extend far beyond him.
So there's a few things going on. First is the privilege issue. The judge will decide whether the documents are privileged or not. If they're not, they're going to go to the government. If the documents are not only not privileged, but they're evidence of witness tampering, then a few things can happen, all of which are bad for Sean Diddy Combs. First, of course, he could face obstruction of justice charges in a superseding indictment.
This has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, with insiders claiming that some of Diddy's former associates are now scrambling to distance themselves. Social media accounts are being scrubbed, private conversations are being held, and the once tightly knit circle of celebrity camaraderie around Diddy is starting to crumble. One unnamed source revealed, people are terrified. No one knows how deep this investigation will go or who might be next to get caught up in the fallout. And it's not just the stars. Business executives, event planners, and even former staffers are reportedly lawyering up, bracing for the possibility that they could be called to testify, or worse, face legal action themselves. The ripple effects of Diddy's downfall are far-reaching, and no one in his inner circle is immune from the growing storm.
They probably didn't see these notes, and they never will.
But if you're Diddy, don't you, want your notes back?
Yeah.
If you've spent so many hours, gathering, evidence for your side or, strategy or whatever, for me, I'd be like, oh no, please don't destroy, please return.
But let's zoom out for a moment. At the heart of this entire saga lies one crucial question. How did things get to this point? For years, Diddy was seen as the epitome of success, someone who built an empire from the ground up. From his record label to his fashion line, he was the very definition of the American dream. But now, that same empire is under intense scrutiny, with accusations of enabling years of misconduct. Prosecutors have painted a troubling picture of a man who used his wealth and influence to manipulate and control those around him. They've described his gatherings as meticulously planned operations, complete with hired staff to ensure everything ran smoothly. While Diddy's legal team has vehemently denied these claims, the sheer volume of accusations has made it increasingly difficult to mount a convincing defense. The man once celebrated as a self-made mogul is now facing the very empire he built crumbling under the weight of these allegations.
He doesn't buy what the prosecution's selling. He thinks they've looked at the notes.
Yeah.
He thinks that they're cheating.
I mean, I would think that too.
But apparently, what happened is common.
Adding to the pressure are the civil lawsuits, which show no signs of slowing down. Each new filing brings fresh details that further complicate Diddy's case. One of the more recent claims comes from a former employee who alleges they were forced to participate in activities that left them deeply traumatized. Another accuser has stated that they were threatened into silence, with Diddy allegedly warning them that he could make them disappear if they ever spoke out. While these allegations remain unproven, they're stacking up in such a way that it's becoming nearly impossible for Diddy to escape the growing public scrutiny. What's even more shocking is the mounting chatter about the alleged involvement of certain high-profile associates who may have enabled or turned a blind eye to Diddy's actions. Multiple reports have hinted that some of his closest collaborators could soon face subpoenas, forcing them to testify about what they witnessed. According to one insider, there are people who were in the room, people who knew what was happening, and now they're being dragged into this mess. This has sent ripples through the entertainment world, with many distancing themselves from Diddy to avoid being caught in the crossfire. But legal experts say it might already be too late for some of them. Prosecutors are reportedly building a case not just against Diddy, but against those who allegedly facilitated his behavior. Adding fuel to the fire, rumors have surfaced about secret recordings that may further implicate Diddy and some of his associates. These recordings, according to an anonymous source, allegedly capture behind-the-scenes conversations where plans for his infamous gatherings were openly discussed. While these claims remain unverified, the potential existence of such evidence has sent shockwaves through Diddy's legal team, who are reportedly scrambling to preemptively discredit any tapes that might surface.
Push to free Sean Diddy Combs tonight, with his legal team citing new evidence in an updated bail proposal. The music mogul agreeing to around-the-clock security and cutting out contact with basically anyone but his legal team to get out of jail ahead of his trial scheduled for May of next year for charges he allegedly coerced and abused women for years.
Meanwhile, the financial fallout from the scandal is becoming impossible to ignore. Several of Diddy's business ventures have already taken a significant hit, with sponsors, brand partners, and collaborators pulling back from any association with his name. His once thriving empire, which spanned music, fashion, and media, now faces an uncertain future. Even his most loyal supporters are reportedly questioning whether they can continue working with someone under such intense scrutiny. A former associate remarked, "The brands associated with Diddy were built on an image of success, luxury, and power. Now, all anyone sees is scandal and controversy. It's hard to see how he comes back from this. The financial strain is real, and with every new revelation, the foundation of Diddy's empire continues to crack under the pressure."
Familiar with the old Houdini? So what Diddy's lawyers are trying to do is pull a Houdini. They're trying to say that the evidence that they have is different. Well, it's not different. The video that the entire world has seen is not going to go away. The fact that he had parties that were freak-offs is not going away. So it's just a question of whether or not Diddy...
And then there's the infamous video, captured in 2016 and leaked earlier this year. The footage shows Diddy in a heated altercation with Cassie Ventura, his former partner. While Diddy's lawyers have argued that the video has been taken out of context, the imagery is hard to ignore. Prosecutors have used it as evidence to support their claims of a pattern of behavior, and it's quickly become a focal point in the court of public opinion. One legal analyst commented, "The video is damning. Even if it doesn't directly relate to the charges he's facing, it reinforces the narrative that he's someone who uses intimidation and aggression to get his way." The video may not be the sole piece of evidence in the case, but it has undeniably added fuel to the fire, shaping how the public perceives both Diddy and the legal battle unfolding.
This new, quote, robust bail package, you can avoid and evade. And he is very connected with people that can help him avoid and evade. I'm not saying he will, but I would be surprised if the court grants him a bond. When the federal government wants you detained, you are normally detained. And here it was a very far-reaching situation that he was in.
Meanwhile, Diddy's family has tried to rally around him, but even that hasn't been without controversy. Prosecutors have accused him of orchestrating a social media campaign from behind bars, allegedly involving his children in an effort to sway public opinion. They pointed to posts celebrating his birthday as evidence that he's still trying to control the narrative, even while incarcerated. Diddy's legal team has pushed back, arguing that these claims are a stretch and that their client has every right to maintain a relationship with his family. But the damage has already been done. For many, the idea of involving his children in such a high-stakes situation has only further tarnished Diddy's reputation. The optics of it all, The use of his children to shift the public's perception has added another layer of complexity to his already unraveling image.
In the Sean Diddy Combs case have until today to give answers for how the music mogul has been communicating from jail. Combs appearing in court last Friday seeking bail while he awaits trial. He's been held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn since September.
So, where does this leave Diddy? For now, he remains in custody, awaiting a trial that could very well determine the rest of his life. Legal experts have speculated that his team might pursue a plea deal, but that would require admitting guilt, something Diddy has been adamant about avoiding. On the other hand, taking the case to trial is a massive gamble. The prosecution appears to have a mountain of evidence, and with each passing day, public sentiment seems to turn further against him. One attorney familiar with the case remarked, "It's a lose-lose situation. If he pleads, he's admitting to something that could destroy his legacy. If he goes to trial and loses, he's looking at a lifetime behind bars." But let's not overlook the broader implications of this case. Diddy's downfall has sparked a larger conversation about accountability in the entertainment industry. For years, powerful figures have operated with impunity, shielded by their status and wealth. But as more victims come forward and more high-profile cases make headlines, the culture of silence that once protected these individuals is starting to crack. Diddy's trial could very well be a tipping point, a moment that forces the industry to take a hard look at itself and make meaningful changes.
It's denying these claims and is pushing for his release under strict conditions, including a $50 million bond and 24/7 monitoring at a secured Manhattan apartment. There will be a hearing today where both sides will have a chance to clarify exactly how Combs has been connecting with the world outside his jail cell.
As the weeks go by, the tension continues to build. Will more accusers come forward? Will former allies turn against him? And perhaps most importantly, will Diddy's legal team find a way to turn the tide? Or is this truly the beginning of the end? One thing is certain, this story is far from over, and the world will be watching every step of the way. The next chapter promises to be even more explosive, with revelations that could shake the very foundations of Hollywood. For now, all eyes are on Diddy as he faces the fight of his life, both in the courtroom and in the court of public opinion. As Diddy's world continues to crumble, the questions remain. Is this the end of an era for one of hip-hop's biggest icons? Or will his legal team pull off a miraculous comeback? How far will the ripples of this scandal spread through Hollywood? The comment section is open. Let us know your thoughts. Until next time.